Today at our Kalleske Winery, we're here talking about our divergent genre of wines. So traditionally, our Kalleske wines have been made in the traditional way from traditional varieties, namely Shiraz, Grenache, Mataro, Cabernet, things like that. And they've been made in the normal way where you crush the grapes, ferment them, and then mature in barrel for a length of time, etc., etc. Some years ago, we started our divergent genre. And one of the wines is our Plenarius Viognier. Now, normally a Viognier is a white grape, and normally a white wine, you press the grapes and you get the juice away from the skins as soon as possible and put the juice into a stainless steel tank or a barrel, ferment it, and you make a nice, clean, fresh, juicy white wine. With our Planarius Viognier, we made it like a red wine. So we destemmed the grapes into an open-top fermenter, gave it hand pump-overs a couple times a day, so lots of contact with the skins, totally wild yeast fermented, and it was in the fermenter in contact with the skins for about 7 days. So during this time, it got lots of extraction, phenolic extraction out of the skins, some colour, some flavour, some tannin out of the skins, and it also got some oxidative maturation as well by being irradiatively pumped over a couple times a day. So, and then after that, we pressed it and matured it in old French barrels for around about 10 months. So ended up with a really unique wine, and it's called an amber wine or an orange wine. So it is a sort of Scotch brandy sort of orangey tinge colour to it. It's got the colour from the skins, and it's really unique in the flavour profile as well. Having that time on skins, it adds a real lovely textural aspect, nice phenolics. It's something that's really different. Some people absolutely love it. Some people absolutely hate it. But it really is a great curio wine, and since we've made that, it's gone really, really well. Next, we have our Parallax Grenache. Actually, before that, I'll just talk about the Viognier, the name Planarius. So Planaris, the name means complete, entire, or absolute. And so normally, as I said, with a white wine, you take away the skins and only use the juice to make the wine. In this case here, we're using the entire absolute grapeberry to make the wine, so we thought Planaris is a very fitting name for this wine. So now onto the Parallax Grenache. So Grenache is a very traditional variety here in our Kalleske farm and in the Barossa. We've got some lovely old vine plantings here. The oldest dates back to 1935 today on the property. And traditionally Grenache is picked quite late in the season, quite ripe in sugar, which gives a resultant highish alcohol, and then you normally mature a Grenache in barrel for anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, depending on what wine style you're making. With the Parallax Grenache, we picked the grapes about 3 weeks earlier than we normally would, so at quite a low BOME, low sugar content, so resultant low alcohol wine. So this was only about 12% in alcohol. We included all the stalks with the Grenache during the fermentation, just a bit more sort of earthy, savoury, stalky character to the wine. And then after fermentation, it was pressed off and only matured in stainless steel for a very brief amount of time, and then very soon into bottle, just to capture all those lovely, bright, early picked Grenache characters. So it's a really light to medium-bodied wine, as opposed to Grenache, which is normally medium to full-bodied. And the name of this one, Parallax. So Parallax is when an object is the same, but it appears or is interpreted differently. So we thought it's a fitting name for our Parallax Grenache, where the object is the same, being the grape, the Grenache varietal, but we've interpreted it, made it in a very, very different way than we normally would. Next we have our Zeitgeist Shiraz, and Zeitgeist is a German word. Zeit is time and Geist is ghost or spirit. So Zeitgeist means the spirit of the time or the character of the time. Now normally with red winemaking, a traditional Barossa Shiraz is matured in a barrel, percentage of new oak often, and it might be in barrel for a year or 2 years before release. So that fundamentally changes the vintage character of the grapes. So we thought it'd be great to do a wine that really captures the vintage. before it's been affected by any oak maturation or time maturation. So with the Zeitgeist Shiraz, it's made like normal wine in the fermenter, so 7 to 14 days on skins, all wild yeast fermented. Then it goes in a stainless steel tank where it goes through natural malolactic fermentation, and then soon after that's complete, the wine is in bottle. So generally it's within bottle about 12 weeks after it was grapes on a vine. So it's really capturing all those primal fruity characters in the bottle before it's been affected by time or oak maturation. So hence it's capturing the spirit of the time or the character of the time. And in this case here, vintage 2020 is in front of us. So that's captured the vintage 2020 in the bottle. And the final wine and newest wine in our Divergent genre is our CCCLXV Durif. Now, CCCLXV are the Roman numerals for 365, which designates 365 days of the year. Now, normal red winemaking, grapes get crushed to the fermenter where the skin, the seeds, the juice is all together for fermentation. During that time, colour, flavour, tannin is extracted from the skins. And most reds spend about 7 days, 10 days, maybe 14 days, perhaps up to 3, maybe 4 weeks on skins. With the Durif, it is 365 days on skins. So it's exactly 1 year that this Durif spent in the fermenter on skins, and during that time it's had that extra time to extract more flavour, colour, tannin, etc., out of the skins. So crushed, fermented like normal, 1 year on skins in the fermenter, and then pressed, briefly matured in stainless steel tank, and then into bottle without any oak maturation either. So it's a really unique wine, and Durif naturally is a very big, rich, gutsy variety anyway, and just having that extra sort of 11 months or so on skins has resulted in an even bigger, richer, more flavoursome Durif. So that's our Kalleske Divergent Genre at this stage. I'm sure in years to come we'll probably look at playing around with a few other wines, but it's always fun from our point of view here at the winery to make and play with something different, and we certainly urge you to diversify from what you'd normally drink and give these wines a crack, because they really are something unique. Cheers.